This section of the blog post provides a guide on how to use public and private keys for SSH authentication when connecting to a virtual private server, VPS. Motivations. You have a server, and you want to work on it securely. SSH, Secure Shell, provides encryption for data transmitted between a client and server, enhancing security and protecting sensitive information. Private public key authentication offers enhanced security compared to traditional username and password methods. The blog post outlines the basic setup requirements for a client-server environment, specifying that both the client and server machines should run Linux or Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL, on Windows 10. It also notes that users should have a basic understanding of Linux. How to authenticate a VPS user using SSH and default public-private keys. To enable public key authentication on your server, you need to edit the SSH configuration file located at etc/sshd-config and set the appropriate option to yes. After making this change, restart the SSH service by running the command systemcl restart sshd. In step 2 of the blog post, users are instructed to generate a local public-private key pair using the sshkeygen command. This process will create 2 files in the tester SSH directory, the private key, and idarsa.pub, the public key. The text explains how to use the SSH copy ID command to copy your SSH public key to a remote server, allowing for passwordless SSH logins. By executing SSH copy ID username at hostname, your public key is added to this home username SSH authorized keys file on the specified host. The text provides instructions on how to use the SSH Secure Shell command to connect to a remote server. It emphasizes the use of the command SSH username at hostname, where username is your account name on the server and hostname is the server's address. The blog post provides instructions for configuring SSH settings in the etc/ssh/sshd config file. It advises editing the file to disable password authentication and to prohibit root login with a password. After making these changes, users should restart the SSH service by executing systemcl restart sshd. This blog post highlights a demo created on a DigitalOcean droplet using Ubuntu, emphasizing that a DigitalOcean droplet is a type of virtual private server, VPS. The blog post provides instructions on creating default SSH public and private keys using the sshkeygen command. It notes that the generated keys will be named IDRSA, the private key, and IDRSA.pub, the public key. Additionally, it mentions copying the public key to a server. An image illustrating the keys is also referenced. The text provides instructions on how to set up SSH key-based authentication. It suggests using the SSH copy ID command to copy your public SSH key to a remote server, followed by logging in with the command SSH username at hostname. An accompanying image illustrates the login process. The section discusses the use of non-default public-private keys for authenticating with multiple servers or users. It includes instructions for creating specific keys and highlights the importance of using designated private key files. Additionally, it references images demonstrating the key creation process and the resulting key pair. The text explains how to copy a public SSH key to a server using the sshcopyid command. It instructs users to specify their custom public key file with the -i option, replacing custom keyname.pub with the actual name of their key. The command format is sshcopyii/customkeyim.pub username at your server _IP. This section of the blog post demonstrates how to log into a server using SSH with a specific private key. It provides an example command, ssh-i path to private key username at your server _IP, which showcases the format for specifying the private key file and the target server credentials. 2 images are included to visually support the instructions, highlighting the process of using non-default SSH settings for secure access. Points of interest. The author shares their positive experience with the Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL, highlighting its convenience for running Linux on a Windows system. The text discusses the challenges of disabling password authentication no, while requiring public key authentication, pub key authentication yes. If a new user lacks a public key on the server, they face a dilemma because they can't log in. To resolve this, you can either 1. Add the user's public key via an existing user with valid keys. 2. Temporarily enable password authentication. Use SSH copy ID to add the public key and then revert to disabling it. The blog post includes a reference to a YouTube video titled SSH Essentials in 7.5 Minutes, which provides a quick overview of essential concepts related to SSH Secure Shell.